Coming up on After the Whistle, the season has come to an end and our area has a state champion. We'll take a look back on championship weekend and follow our remaining 3 teams.
Plus, we'll recap all of the seasons for our local District 6 squads and name our Player of the Year.
And finally, Penn State is heading south for its bowl game. We'll take a look at the matchup. After the Whistle starts now.
Hello and welcome to our After the Whistle season recap show, brought to you by Com Radio, Center County Report, and Penn State's Chapter of Awesome. I'm Tori Kashadi.
And I'm Preston Shoemaker. The 2021 season has officially come to an end, and we've got recaps on all the local District 6 teams. And Tori, we even had a state champion here in our area.
That's right, Preston. We did have a state champion, but there were so many great other teams in Central PA football. We had a great year.
We had a lot of great teams this season to cover. It's been a great time, and Evan and Logan, one of those teams surely had a memorable season.
For sure, Preston. After winning the District 6 title, Bishop Guilfoyle faced a big-time matchup in the state semifinals.
BG met up with Canton, looking to keep its season alive and move to the state title game in Hershey.
Now it's time to dive into some of those highlights. Both teams coming on the field here, Bishop Guilfoyle, and then you see Canton on your screen. Following a scoreless first quarter, we pick up in the second. It's quarterback Carson Keysweater finding pay dirt from 5 yards out for Bishop Guilfoyle, giving them the 7-0 lead. He's going to go in for his second one here is Keysweater, 8-yard rushing touchdown, extending that Marauders lead to 14-0 with 13 seconds left in the opening half. But not going down without a fight was Canton. Riley Parker, 1-yard rushing touchdown on 4th and goal to cut the deficit in half, 14-7 Bishop Guilfoyle at that point. But going for the hat trick, Carson Keysweater, what an absolute mammoth on the field. They will miss the extra point, 20-7 Marauders there, and that would be the final score in the semifinal matchup. BG goes on to win. And now up next for Bishop Guilfoyle was the state championship game at Hershey Park Stadium.
That's right, Evan. BG went on to play in Hershey for the state title against Red Bank Valley. Let's see if they got to take home that sweet title. So we see BG rolling out ready for action against Red Bank. First quarter, there's no score, but we see quarterback Carson Keysweater connects on the pass to tight end Colin Campbell to get a down in the red zone. That sets up a run-yard touchdown by Keysweater to make it 7-0 BG. And now we're going to jump over to the third quarter. We're tied 7-7. We see quarterback Keysweater. He fakes a run and pops it over the defense to wide receiver Anthony Safari for a 57-yard touchdown, making the score 14-7. Now we're going to hop over to Cooper Ruther, running back. He runs into the end zone from 13 yards out, making the score 21-14. And now we're on the last play of the game. Keysweater seals the BG win with this sick interception. And he just goes for it. And the final for this BG is 21-14. BG wins the state title for the first time since 2016 and their fourth since 2014. Our reporter, Eric Fenstermaker, was in Hershey and has more.
In a back-and-forth contest between both teams, Bishop Guilfoyle seemed to always have an answer, including a 57-yard jump pass that really broke the game open.
Needing an answer in the third, head coach Justin Wheeler called this jump pass, which led to a 57-yard touchdown that changed the championship game.
We saw the opportunity, we saw the way they were coming, made the call, and Carson and Safari and Anthony meant the connection was unbelievable. Just great momentum for us after their big plays.
Every time Red Bank scored, Bishop Guilfoyle found a way to respond shortly after. The Marauders dominated time of possession and won the game while only passing 5 times. 2 big passes and 50 total rushes helped Bishop Guilfoyle edge out the Bulldogs. For quarterback Carson Keysweater, this moment is extra special as he is surrounded by his childhood friends.
Just get here with these guys, especially I grew up with my whole life. We've just been the bestest friends, and it's awesome to see this and us all come together and put one together finally for us.
The win gives the Marauders their first state championship since 2016 and redemption from the team's loss in the finals in 2019.
They say the chocolate here in Hershey, Pennsylvania is really sweet, but I think this state title for Bishop Guilfoyle tastes even sweeter. Reporting in Hershey, Pennsylvania at the PIAA State Championship, I'm Eric Fenstermaker for After the Whistle.
The win was Bishop Guilfoyle's 4th state championship since 2014 and their first since 2016.
Moving now to our hometown team, the state high Little Lions took on the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils in the PIAA Class 6A semifinals. We're opening up now in the middle of the first quarter. Lebanon already up 14, and wide receiver Deshaun Green for State High able to get a 43-yard touchdown reception. State High would still be down 14-7. 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Running back Alex Tesga quickly responding with a short rushing touchdown, 28-7 Mount Lebanon. And Eli Heidenrich, the wide receiver for Lebanon, having a huge day with 5 total touchdowns overall on the game. And he would get a huge gain towards the end of the second quarter on a long reception to get Mount Lebanon in the red zone. He would get down towards around the 10-yard line, and he would convert there on that drive on the corner for the touchdown to put Mount Lebanon up 42-14. It would be all Blue Devils from there, as despite a few State High touchdowns towards the end of the game, Mount Lebanon would secure the win 49-28 to knock State High out of the championship and end their season. Now here's Andrew Destin's recap on the Little Lions season.
Deshaun Green set a goal for himself before his senior season, win a state championship. But injuries to Green and others set the Little Lions back. State High struggled at times during a 500 regular season, but once Green and others returned, they caught lightning in a bottle.
Me coming back, it really set the tone, and our team kept rolling on, and now we made it this far.
The Lions rattled off 3 upset wins in the playoffs, including a last-second victory over 12-1 Harrisburg. Coach Matt Lintal said his team got more confident as the season went on, especially in the postseason.
Traditionally, we have not been like the underdog in a lot of those early round games, and this year we were. And these kids, nobody in that locker room thought we were the underdog.
State High faced its toughest test last weekend in Pennsylvania's #1 team, Mount Lebanon. A fairy tale ending wasn't in store, though, as the Blue Devils rolled to a 49-28 win en route to a championship game berth.
To get to this point, I'm extremely happy with our kids and the resiliency that they've shown throughout the year. They're persistent, and no matter what's on the scoreboard any day, they just keep fighting.
Senior fullback Brady Bendick agreed with his coach.
Really proud of the boys and excited for the future of our program.
Lintal will have his work cut out for him to replace players like Green and Bendick. But on the heels of their deepest playoff run since 2009, the foundation is there.
Credit to these seniors. They've certainly left state college football better than they found it.
Thanks, Andrew. At 14-0, Central entered the PIAA state semifinals, looking to continue a perfect season. Only Central Valley High School stood in the way. Let's dive into a highlight here in the PIAA semifinal. Pucker up and kiss your winning streak goodbye. That's what Central had to say to Central Valley. Here's a look at their quarterback, Jeff Hohenstein. You might see a little more of him later, but here's Hohenstein rolling out to the right here. First quarter, no score. 3rd and goal. He's going to connect on the 6-yard touchdown there with Hunter Smith. Gives Central a 7-0 lead. Now an answer into the second quarter. Central Valley quarterback Antoine Johnson. He's going to hit wide receiver Javen Thompson on the outside. That gets the Warriors down towards the goal line, where they're going to be able to get it in with pay dirt, setting up Landon Alexander. Rushing touchdown from short yardage ties the game at 7 apiece. Later in that second quarter, it's 4th and goal, and the Warriors are threatening yet again. It was actually 4th and short here as Alexander gets the couple yards he needs but does not get into the end zone. That's all right. Johnson picks up where he left off. A quick little 1-yard plunge forward makes it a 14-7 contest. Central would get the ball right back, but a 3-and-out gave it right back here where Johnson connects with Thompson. This time a 70-yard touchdown pass. Makes it 21-7, and your final score 35-21. Central Valley knocks off the Dragons 1 game before the state title, and Dale Ostrander took a look back at Central's season.
The Central Dragons finished the 2021 regular season undefeated with a 10-0 record. This would give them back-to-back undefeated regular seasons for the Central program. The Dragons would be led by junior quarterback Jeff Hohenstein, who finished the season with 3,621 passing yards, which was first in Pennsylvania. He also had 57 passing touchdowns on the season, which is now the Pennsylvania single-season passing record. Hohenstein wasn't alone for this Central team. He also had help from senior running back Parker Gregg, who was able to get over 1,000 yards on the ground and receiving this year. It wasn't just the quarterback and running back that led Central to their undefeated season. It was the overall depth and experience that helped this team get to the state semifinals this year.
The players, they had a realistic goal that we could get to the state championship game.
The Dragons did make it all the way to the state semifinals and ended up playing Central Valley and played it close until the end, but their undefeated season came to an end against Central Valley with a 35-21 loss to give them a 14-1 season. Coach Baker thinks Central will be up to the task looking for 3 back-to-back undefeated regular seasons next year, a first in school history.
Thanks, Dale. Let's look now to our other District 6 teams. After a 6-4 regular season, Penns Valley season came to an end in the first round of the district playoffs. Austin Groft looks more into their season.
The Penns Valley Rams finished their season with a 6-5 overall record after losing in the first round of the District 6 Class 2A playoffs to Bellwood Antis. Despite losing in the first round, they put up a good fight against the Blue Devils, who only lost 1 game in the regular season. In that playoff game, Jackson Romig had 2 60-yard touchdowns early on, one to Zach Brout and one to Dannon Kerstetter, that kept the game close until Bellwood Antis pulled away in the end. Penns Valley was unstoppable at home this year, finishing 5-0. Not only were they winning at home, they were doing it with ease, having a positive scoring margin of 161 points. Jackson Romig finished the season with 1,261 passing yards alongside 20 passing touchdowns. 703 of Romig's passing yards went to star wide receiver Miles Brooks. Going to the rushing game, Ty Watson and Tanner Ilgen rushed for a combined 1,048 yards. On the defensive side, junior linebacker Hunter Lyons led the team in tackles with 67. The Rams offense will look to make bigger strides, having their leading passer, rusher, and receiver back for next season.
Thanks, Austin. It was a rough season on the gridiron for the Bellefonte Raiders, but Chris Limo breaks down their season.
Bellefonte's season ended with a 41-12 loss to eventual District 6 Class 4A champion Juniata in the first round of the playoffs. It was a rebuilding year this season at Bellefonte, where the Raiders finished 2-8 overall and 2-4 in the Mountain Conference. Both of the Raiders' wins came at home in conference play against Phillipsburg Osceola and Huntington. The Raiders' offense struggled this season, scoring 102 points, with 40 of them coming in a rout against Huntington. The Raiders will lose dual-threat senior quarterback Nicholas Way, who threw for 278 yards while combining for 252 rushing and receiving. Bellefonte will also lose top running back Nolan Weaver, who ran for 319 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Raiders will return their top receiving duo in juniors Dominic Caparella and Tyler Rice, who combined for 378 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, Bellefonte returns leading tackler Tyler Rice, who also led the team with 3 interceptions. Sophomore Nathan Way led the team with 7 tackles for a loss. The Raiders will look to keep building next year in Coach Vaughn Donmoyer's second season.
Thanks, Chris. After a first-round postseason win, Bald Eagles season came to an end last month. Lexi Lideline looks back on the Eagles season.
Bald Eagle area fell to Forest Hills 49-20 in the second round of the District 6 Class AA playoffs. The team had their best season since 2018 as they finished with a 9-3 record overall and second in the Mountain Conference. Bald Eagle will take a tough blow next season as they will lose quarterback turned running back Garrett Burns, who led the team with 1,157 rushing yards. However, freshman quarterback Carson Nagel will be returning next season and looking to top his 1,897 yards and 16 touchdowns in the passing game.
Despite going 2-6 last year and the lack of an off-season, the Bald Eagles were able to put up an impressive performance this season. I got the opportunity to catch up with head coach Jesse Nagel and senior Caleb Mattis about their thoughts on the year.
We were satisfied, but happy that we were winning, but also we're still pretty hungry.
Nagel added that some practices only had 22 out of the 54 players on the roster due to COVID-19 related issues. But after many challenges, senior Caleb Mattis said he wasn't disappointed with his team.
Everybody came together and I think we did a great job. I'm really proud of what everybody accomplished and where we've come from, especially from last year to this year.
Coach Nagel mentioned although they were knocked out earlier than wanted this year, he expects them to only get better in the future.
We know we were very young this year, and hopefully kids mature and continue to grow and be prepared to run another title run again.
In Wingate, I'm Lexi Lideline for After the Whistle.
Thanks, Lexi, and just an excellent season for Bald Eagle. After a 500 regular season, Tyrone looked to advance against Penn Cambria in the first round of the District 6 playoffs. Now, how did they do? Let's take a look back into their season. After a massive jump to the top of the Mountain League in 2020, the Tyrone Golden Eagles took a slight step back in 2021, finishing third in the conference with a 5-6 overall record and a 4-2 league record. The Golden Eagles entered the Class 3A playoffs as the 2 seed and dropped a tough contest to Penn Cambria 45-21. Offensively, a flash of youth provided positivity for the future this season. Freshman Ashton Walk split quarterback reps with senior Keegan Gwynn. Walk threw for 1,248 yards and 14 touchdowns to go with just 2 interceptions. The running game was led by sophomore Brady Ronan, who ran for 409 yards and 5 touchdowns. Junior Colton Miller will return next season as well after 116 rushing yards and 112 receiving yards with 5 total touchdowns. Tyrone will look to replace a few senior receivers in Court Rhodes and Corey Beck, who each had 4 touchdowns on a combined 836 receiving yards this season. One key player to do so will be junior Ross Gamp, who had 367 yards and 4 touchdowns himself this season. Defensively, Gamp led the way with 41 tackles and 14.5 tackles for loss, including 6 sacks. Ronan also played both ways and led the team with 3 interceptions. Overall, Tyrone will look to build upon a strong season with a core group of young players in 2022.
Thanks, Preston. It was another strong season for Bellwood Antis that saw the Blue Devils grab a first-round playoff win. Alex Rocco dives into their season.
The Bellwood Antis Blue Devils finished its season with an impressive 10-2 record, capturing the top spot in its conference. The Blue Devils' run at a title was cut short after losing to Richland 54-14 in the second round. In its opening playoff game, Bellwood Antis took down Penns Valley 49-28 after 4 passing touchdowns from quarterback Zach Pellegrini. Running back Connor Gibbons also tacked on an outstanding 226 rushing yards and found the end zone twice in the victory. The Blue Devils started their season winning their first 8 straight games before falling to Juniata Valley late in October. Bellwood Antis was unstoppable on the road this campaign, going a perfect 6-0. Not only were they winning on the road, they were doing it in blowout fashion, having a positive scoring margin of 226 points. Zach Pellegrini finished the season with 1,217 passing yards and 17 touchdowns. 463 of those passing yards went to receiver Sean Mallon, who also found the end zone a team-leading 7 times. Taking a look at the rushing attack, Connor Gibbons had a fantastic season, tallying 1,425 rushing yards and 16 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, Cooper Geyer led the team in tackles and tackles for loss, with 76 and 9 respectively. The Blue Devils will look to have the same success next season, but it will be difficult with the team's leading passer, rusher, and receiver heading off to college.
Thanks, Alex. Next up are the Mounties of Phillipsburg Osceola. Our Brooke Stake takes a look back at the season.
After dealing with the elements, the coronavirus pandemic, and many injuries on the roster, Phillipsburg Osceola looked to bounce back from a hard season, especially against tough opponents. I got to catch up with head coach Jeff Roman to go over how he thought the overall season went this year. The Phillipsburg Osceola Mounties went 2-8 on the regular season this year, while not winning a single game on the road. Despite the team's record this year, head coach Jeff Roman said that he's proud of his team's fight this year despite what was thrown at them.
Early on in the season, I was very pleased with everything that we did in all facets of the game. But COVID hit a couple weeks. We had some key injuries that really affected the outcome, especially early on in the season.
Despite these injuries, the Mounties look to come back next year in a new conference as their enrollment rate is dropping, according to Roman.
So we're hoping that within the next couple of weeks we find out that we're in a conference where we're going to play schools our own size. It would also help us with some travel. It would place us playing teams that are within a half hour, 4 or 5 of them within a half-hour radius of us. So that would be huge from a crowd standpoint, whether it be home or away too.
Roman and his squad will find out on December 15th if they will be placed in a new conference. Reporting for After the Whistle, I'm Brooke Stake.
Thanks, Brooke. Central's team captain Jeff Hohenstein had carried the team to an undefeated regular season. He's been successful before, but this season, it felt different. Dale Ostrander highlights our After the Whistle Player of the Year and his incredible story.
A Friday night football game is the highlight of the week for many towns across the country. It's a chance to get away from all your problems and instead root for the hometown team. Down in Roaring Springs, Pennsylvania, there lives a two-sport athlete who is bringing his name and the school to higher levels. Jeff Hohenstein is the quarterback at Central High School. He has led the team to an undefeated regular season and 2 wins to start the playoffs. Hohenstein has been the man under center since he was a freshman.
A lot of the guys were bigger, more developed, obviously, and it was a new experience for me, and I knew I just had to be myself.
He led Central deep into the playoffs the next year after an undefeated regular season.
It was just a great experience, probably one of the best seasons I've ever had playing football and one of the most fun.
Until it all came to a halt.
It was just a QB option play where I would run to the left, and I had a sprint option. I could either pitch it to the running back or, keep myself cut it upfield. And I kind of gave a little pump fake to the running back, and then I cut it up myself. And the DN kind of caught me from behind and just kind of jumped on me, kicked my leg, and brought me down.
Hohenstein had a broken leg, ending his season and putting his future into question.
I don't think there was any question in his mind whether he was going to come back or not, and I kind of had that conversation with him, and he looked at me like, what are you talking about, that I might not think about playing again?
A.J. Hohenstein is Jeff's father and one of the coaches of the Central football team. For the Hohenstein family, injury is one thing, tragedy is another.
Nick played football and baseball here, and he was just a madman on the field.
Nick Hohenstein was Jeff's uncle, but he was more like a brother. After all, he was only 8 years older. Jeff won every game he played sophomore year before the injury, with the passing of his uncle on his mind.
And Jeff and Nick were very close. Nick was an addict, and that was tough for the family, and he tried to get help a lot.
Nick Hohenstein passed away a little over a year ago in August 2020, before Jeff's sophomore year.
He was always smiling, always happy.
We did a lot together. He was a big part of my life. He's done a lot for me, and I'm thankful for what he did and what he taught me. It was obviously a huge loss. Losing him hit me really hard, and I played with him in my thoughts all the time.
It took several surgeries to get Jeff back on his feet. This is a story of football and family, and the story is not over yet.
Hohenstein is hoping to get a Division I football scholarship. By the way, he also set a Pennsylvania state record for touchdown passes in the season with 57.
Just a fantastic season and an even better story for Hohenstein. He is surely deserving for After the Whistle Player of the Year. A big congrats to Jeff. Let's move on now to the collegiate ranks. Despite a season of ups and downs, Penn State football will still play in a New Year's Six bowl game. And while the Nittany Lions won't be smelling roses in Pasadena, there's still a unique challenge awaiting them in an unfamiliar foe, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Andre Magaro has more.
After losing 5 of its final 7 regular season games, Penn State football is far from firing on all cylinders heading into its Outback Bowl clash with Arkansas. Things will look a little different for the Nittany Lions come New Year's Day. Penn State's defense has lost its mentor, as defensive coordinator Brent Pry was named the new head coach of Virginia Tech 2 weeks ago. Penn State coach James Franklin was highly complimentary of his time with Pry.
Talk about, a significant loss, personally and professionally. Brent's one of my closest friends. We've been together for 12 years, been through a lot together. Obviously, that's going to be difficult to replace.
This is the first ever matchup between two programs that date back over 120 years. The 21st ranked Razorbacks are coming off an 8-4 regular season with 3 losses to teams currently ranked in the top 10. An aggressive rushing attack awaits Franklin and company, led by second-year head coach Sam Pittman.
Got a ton of respect for what Sam's been able to do in a short period of time. I know he's done a really good job of embracing what Arkansas is and what Arkansas stands for. And it's, brought a hard-nosed, tough, positive energy, and is doing some really nice things.
It's a rare opportunity for Penn State to take down 2 SEC programs in the same season, as the Nittany Lions look for a strong end to a season that got away.
Kickoff on January 1st is set for noon, and you can listen to the game live on Penn State's Com Radio with our team in Tampa. All right, guys, it's time now for our most fun segment of the show. It's the top plays of the season.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but there were some jaw-dropping plays this season.
That's right, Evan. We have some plays here that you just can't miss.
And I just can't wait any longer. Let's get to it. Here's the top 5 plays of the season. Starting at number 5, Penn Cambria against Tyrone. It's 4th and goal. Penn Cambria QB Garrett Harold has a pass to Luke Shawgas over the defense for a 12-yard touchdown. Now, guys, look at this slowed down. Look at that pass.
Oh, my goodness. He goes up high over the defense in the back of the end zone. That's an athletic play.
A thing of beauty right there, guys.
Now moving on to number 4, Juniata Valley taking on Portage, and Juniata Valley quarterback Lambert Palmer faking the handoff. He runs 91 yards for the touchdown. Just insane play all the way.
I mean, you got to go back and look at that handoff again, Logan. I mean, he fakes that handoff and gets around the defensive line. I mean, look at this. This is incredible.
Absolutely amazing. Oh, where is he? Oh, there he goes. He's gone. You're not going to catch him for those 91 yards.
I mean, the defense didn't know where he was on this one, and then eventually here that speed kicks in, 91 yards. It's the longest play we got here.
And Juniata Valley would end up winning this one in huge part to that run. They would win 21-7.
Let's take a look at that third play then from November 13th. Hollidaysburg and Cathedral Prep, the Ramblers. It's running back Michael Parks. Look at him go. Oh my goodness, 84-yard rushing touchdown. Great speed right there, guys, but it's all about the spin move right at the beginning to just elude defenders and get out of the way and take off for the end zone, Tori.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. I mean, I'm kind of getting dizzy right now looking at that.
I mean, he puts him on a spin cycle, Logan. I mean, the whole defense is fooled, and the Golden Tigers, they go down.
Yeah, and right from the spin cycle, then the burst on the sideline, able to turn up that extra gear. Just what a play.
Let's go to our number 2 play now, and our player of the year again, Jeff Hohenstein. Central and Somerset. Hohenstein, a pass to Parker Grigg with one hand. Pulls in the 32-yard touchdown catch, and guys, look at this again. A beautiful ball from Hohenstein, but a one-handed grab.
Great concentration right there, and was that on ESPN Top 10, guys? Oh my goodness.
And now we're at number 1 with Bishop Guilfoyle and Red Bank Valley. Quarterback Carson Kieswetter just tosses it over to the wide receiver Anthony Ciafaro. And just look at that pop.
I mean, it was the play that defined the second half of that playoff game, guys. I mean, BG cruises on to get this big win. That was the play call that made it happen.
Yeah, these are plays you normally see at the goal line in the jump pass, but 57 yards, just unreal.
Pop pass gets the victory for BG. Huge for them, guys.
A huge victory for them. They won the state title 21-14, and that was really the play that drove the game to victory.
I mean, just an incredible season, guys. I can't believe we're finally here at the end of the year, but it was a ton of fun and a lot of great coverage, a lot of great teams as well, but a big congrats to BG for getting the job done.
Absolutely. An absolute blast covering all this year. Central PA doing a great job in football this season.
Yeah, just saw some great plays, saw some great games. It was really a memorable season overall.
And I think the season was just absolutely incredible. We had a great season here in Pennsylvania, but that'll do it for the season wrap-up edition for After the Whistle.
A big thank you to everyone for tuning in all season long. Our entire committed crew in front of and behind the camera, getting out to games on Friday nights. It was incredible. But for everybody here, we'll catch you next time. Stick with us right here.
After the Whistle.